welcome to Wendy's Colouring, and today, I'm going to have a look at a product I didn't have any of. So the lovely people at Ohuhu, don't know why I'm doing that like you didn't know, because it was on the thumbnail, wasn't it, so you knew what I was looking at, but lovely people at Ohuhu have sent me some markers. So I have some Honolulu series. Now, alcohol markers. Yeah, I do like an alcohol marker. I do have a few alcohol markers. To kind of put this into context so you know where I'm coming from, I did start my alcohol marker journey with some pro markers. Mine are mainly all Letraset ones, but obviously they are owned by Winsor & Newton now. So I start with those, which are like a bullet nib and a fine nib. Don't know why I just described them the wrong way around from how I had the pen, but I did. So I have some of those. I have a cheapy set of twin markers by Deco Time. I think these were arranged by, they have a brush and I've forgotten what the other is. Another fine liner, fine nib. They're okay, but they're cheapies. I have a full set of chameleons. I have a couple of these Faber-Castell new alcohol markers that have just come out that are in my scroll box. I have a full set of Tri-Blend Spectrum Noir brush pens, and the competition. I do have a full set of Copics. Move them all out of the way. So as a result, I obviously have never bought any Ohuhus because I have quite a few alcohol markers already, and I do a lot of colour pencil work, as you probably know already, but it is handy to have some alcohol markers. It's nice to have a base, and some days when you just want something a bit easier, alcohol pen is what you want, isn't it? But I was bought these. Are they a perfect pen? No, sadly not. They're lovely. I enjoy using them. I don't enjoy buying the refills. They're very expensive. And I have, in my full set, I have had a few faulty pens, I'm sad to say. Pens where the nib's gone, like it's like glue, really strange, like you just end up having to throw them away. I've had a couple that, even though I've hardly used them, I've just completely dried up, even though the caps are on and I make a good effort at, putting the cap on. I don't think the fit on some of my caps is great on my Copics. And for the price of these, they pretty much need to be bomb-proof perfect, don't they? So, yes, I enjoyed them. And because I had them, obviously, it's, I haven't bought other ones because I had them, and, they're expensive and someone bought them me, and you have to use them, don't you, when that's the case. So I've looked at Ohuhu many times. But, couldn't justify it really because I had the other ones. So how many pens does one person need? My husband always makes a joke about it. You don't need any more pens. You have more pens than any person would need. That's ridiculous. Obviously not. I like arty crafty things. What else would you need other than more pens? But I was delighted to be sent these. Obviously because it's nice to be sent something, but for my nosiness, that I just really wanted to see what they're like, but couldn't give myself an excuse to see what they're like. So they very kindly sent me 2 sets. So I've got, if I can open them, I've got pastels, lovely pastels. Pastels are always my favourite. I have far too many pastel pencil sets. And they've sent me this, which I'm going to call Brights. I don't think they call it Brights. I'm not sure what they call this set, but they're both 48 sets. But this is obviously a bright. I don't know if there's a bright, mid, and pastel. Looking at their website, I don't think it's as clear when you're looking out on Amazon. And I was just really interested to see actually what the pen felt like in your hand, which I know probably sounds a bit ridiculous. And I think the first thing I'd noticed first of all, really, which did surprise me, I've got to be honest, as a non-Ohuhu user before, is just how much of a quality product this feels like in your hand. The caps are on and off really nicely. They've got a nice click, which I must admit is annoying me on my Copics. Like I say, I'm having a few cap issues on them. You know, that is closed, and you know it's closed, don't you? And it's not a difficult push on, but it's on. Obviously it's round barrel, but it's got little stoppers on both of the caps. So I think that's a really good design element. And yeah, I thought the plastic felt pretty good for them. Obviously, I'm guessing a lot of you have seen them before. You've got number and name, top and bottom, very useful. And then you've just got the nib that's in this particular pen that they've sent me. So brush and what they're calling broad marker. Brushes, I'd say throwing them on the floor, that's not a very good idea, is it? Brushes, I think, is a really nice shape. And so far, I've only had a small play with the nibs. But yeah, so far, I quite like them. I think they're hard enough, they're firm enough, but not too soft. It's a fine balance, I think, isn't it, of getting a nib that's comfortable to use, soft enough that it feels nice, but firm enough that it's going to take the wear and tear. And yeah, I was honestly impressed when I opened these the other day for the first time. I've never seen anybody else. Obviously, on videos I've seen other people using them, but in real life I'd never seen them. So I was really interested to see what I felt they feel like in real life, and I was really impressed. I thought they felt really nice. So this has a range of quite bright colours in. We've also got a, what does it actually say on it? If you're colouring, put on thin paper, put this pad between your colouring sheets to prevent bleed through. It's quite a nice little idea and a little bit of an extra, isn't it? I think if you work in a little A5 book, that would be actually quite perfect. If you're working in some of those Josh Dunbar books, for example, that would be a little perfect little backing sheet to protect the rest of the book. What else have I got? I'm going to just move those ones out of the way while I have a nosy in here. I've got a very fancy, colourful, I'm guessing this is all the different types of pen. These are Honolulu that I've got, aren't they? Are they A's? Honolulu A's that have got the brush and the chisel. See, I'm still learning my Ohuhu names and terms. But yeah, I thought this was a really nice intro to the book. You've got a little bit about brush tips, chisel tips, fine tips, all the tips they do, wide tips. Great for a background. I don't think I'd know what to do with a pen that wide, but yeah, got a nice little question and answer sheet. Then obviously some illustrations of the different types of pen. I think because I've gone through all the kind of pen types I had, particularly obviously starting from this point, these are obviously a little fine tip, and I bought these when I was card making, so I used the fine tip quite a bit in that. But once you've used a brush and you're using it in colouring, yeah, we don't really want a fine tip so much, do we? We want a brush. And yes, there are loads of things that you're gonna maybe want this combination for, but for what I do with colouring sheets, I've kind of really got used to a brush now, and I think I'd be like, oh no, not the bullet nib now, no. Colours for whatever this is that I'm not going to pronounce. Ohuhu series? I don't know, that's probably wrong. But I think this is what I've got, isn't it? So I've got these ones. So these just Honolulu rather than Honolulu A's. With a brush and chisel. Colour name, yes. Cap fits, yes. Yeah. This, I think, is a cracking little idea. They can actually take the nib out and flip it over, and you've got a new nib again. What good use of a bit of a nib. Because let's be honest, for most of these pen systems, none of the nibs and replacement things are cheap, are they? And yeah, if you can get twice the wear out of it, why not? I think that's a cracking little idea. Nice cost saver. It's not even like I'm awful for... I think that the Chameleons came with some spur nibs. I have no idea where they are. Little tiny nibs. In my room of craft. Long since long lost. I can't lose that, can I? Because it's already in there. I think that's a very good idea and a great cost saver. So I'm guessing this is what the whole set looks like. I know lots of people in YouTube land have the whole set. I do like having a whole set, and I'm now having words for myself. No, you do not need the whole set of these lovely pens. You have lots of pens, use the ones up that you've got. But yeah, can't lie, I am tempted. So these ones, are these thicker again? Kameliya, 150 colours. Oh, they're slim and broad colours. Oh yeah, and then the monster thick ones. I just get that everywhere. I'm too clumsy. Too clumsy. Gel pens. Now, I do actually have a set of their gel pens, and I was really... Somebody bought me them from a gift a few years ago, and I do really like them. I've got the... They're not massive pens. They're like little 3/4 pens. But yeah, I've used them quite a bit. Mine are neon. I think there's a couple of metallics and some whites in there. But yeah, I really quite like the gel pens. I thought they were really nice little pens. And obviously these I've not had, and I think we're back in another language. So that is the book out of my, I'm going to call it Brights. I don't know if it is Brights. I'm going to put it back in. And I kind of feel like I should put this back in as well, because I'm messy. Then I've got, I think we'll lose that bit of packing. So we've got another of those little sheets, and we have a very small book, which I'm guessing is probably same amount of info again. So yeah, this is 48 set and a colourless blender. I thought that was the other nice thing actually. This one came with a colourless blender. This one's also come with a colourless blender. If I'm honest, when I'm using an alcohol marker, tend to use the lighter of the colours that I'm blending with to blend, rather than a colourless blender, because a colourless blender can take out the colour completely. So if you go mad trying to blend it with the blender, sometimes you'll end up with a lighter patch in your blend than you intend. But if you want to blend a colour out, obviously those are really useful. And if you've had a horrible faux pas and want to remove some colour, colourless blenders are great for that as well. And again, really nice feel to it. It's no different from the other pens. Some brands, colourless blenders are a different size and all of that. Exactly the same as all the rest of the colours, so I liked that a lot. But yeah, this is also a cute little book. It did come with to show you how to do some other different coloured blends, which again, if you're new to colouring with markers, I thought that was actually quite a nice little tutorial. They've given you the colour names that they've used as well. I'd have to put my glasses on to read them, but you know. I thought the idea of it was nice, and I particularly like this quite unusual blue to pink colour choice that they've got on here. I think it was quite nice to see something that's a little bit more unusual and just a little bit more thought to it. Obviously reversible brush. I'm guessing it's much the same in this little book as the other one. But yes, I was very impressed. I thought for the price of this set, you're getting quite a lot of markers. It's a good selection of colours. I have somewhere. Oh yeah. Did I put it at the front of this one or the back of this one? Oh, yeah. I have swatched them because, you know, I had to apply straight away. So the little Brights look like this. I think when I was swatching, I think one thing I did notice was some of the colour names are perhaps a little bit strange for the actual colour that they were. I can't think of one now, but there was a couple that I thought, I don't think that's that colour. It doesn't really matter, you'll get used to them as you use them. And you tend to just look at the colour swatch to the number anyway, don't you, when you're actually using them and you don't know them. So the fact that it might be called something that's maybe not that colour doesn't really matter. And then my little pastel ones are this one, which again I thought was a really nice selection. You've got a little bit of everything going on in these. And because of me, and I looked at this colour palette and thought, that's a very usable colour palette. But what if I was doing a person? Because there's not really many skin tones in this set, is there? So what I really need, if I'm going to use just these, is some skin tones, isn't it? So yeah. Oops, accidentally clicked on some skin tones on Amazon just to go with it, to, you know, so I could see what I was doing properly with them. However, I did make a bit of a faux pas when I bought these ones. In my lack of knowledge of Ohuhu, should have read the book more properly, because what I did buy on this set of skin tone markers is I've got brush, same as the ones I've got, but I've got the fine point on the other end. And when I realised that, I thought, well, it doesn't really matter, does it? And it doesn't matter unless you're going to do a swatch chart based on the normal Honolulu set, because then I realised that these ones with the fine end, these are called different names, and they are not the same numbers or names as the skin tones in this set. So I started on my swatch sheet that I just bought off Etsy, and then I realised that my skin tones weren't on here, so I could see my ones, but then I've got a whole chunk of ones and some on the bottom here that you might have noticed, because I thought, oh, it'll just be one or two, I'll just put them on the bottom. And then when I looked, no, it's not one or two, there's quite a few that are called different names and numbers. Obviously I don't have the brush chisel version to know whether these are just the same colour but they're called something different because it's a different nib. I don't know, but I now have, I will remove my useless swatch because it's useless. I now have these ones to add to it. So I've got a few more skin tones that I thought, well, that kind of finishes my set. Not finishes it off, but it makes it a bit more of a usable set of colours for me personally. And I thought that worked a lot better altogether. And I could see myself, yeah, there's no reason I couldn't do a colouring page with all of these. I pretty much have got something for every situation, hopefully, or at least that was my plan. But yeah, I've been really impressed with these. I like I say, I was really impressed with the quality of them. They felt like a quality thing. Not done a colouring with them yet. I thought I would do something in, let me move these out of the way before I lose them, because I will need them. I'll just put them off screen for a min. I thought I'd do something in Kameliya Angelkova, because I've not done a huge amount in these. I think I've done one in this one, have I? Yeah, done one in this one. So I've got Halloween Fairy House, which obviously we are approaching. And I've also not done any in Woodland Miniatures. Kameliya Angelkova, I love her books. And they're so cute, aren't they? They just suck me in, and then I buy them. And then they sit on the shelf and I don't colour them. So I thought markers, yes! Her books are perfect for a bit of marker. I think I'm going to go Halloween just because of the time of year we are. But I thought, yes, let's test them out on an actual page and see what I think. Normally for me, I will do alcohol marker base, but I do like to blend and shade with my base, and then maybe just a bit of touch-up detail work. But obviously Kameliya's pages are pretty bold and large anyway, so I think we could just get away with just doing it in marker. I think the page I did in this book before was literally, look at him, he's naughty. It was just, oh, I quite like him as well up there. It was just, excuse my work emails pinging on my watch. Yeah, I think the one I did before was just marker, so maybe I'll just do that. Just trying to find one that makes me go, yes, that's the one I want to do. I'm being very indecisive now. I should have looked through this book before I started the camera. That would have made sense, wouldn't it, really? But now I'm like, oh, I could do that one, I could do this one, I could do that one. I'm being very indecisive. Perhaps I might turn the camera off and have a proper look. And then finally, when I come to one that, I think I want one with silly creatures in because they're cute. But I'm being indecisive. Scary cats in a witchy hat house. What's that one? Pumpkins. yeah, I'm going to pause you, I think, and have a look through a couple of times and figure which one I want to do out. Hold on, I'll be back. Okay, so I think I'm pretty much in with these cute monsters. So I do need something underneath, I think, because those little plasticky sheets aren't going to be big enough for this page, so we'll sting that in there. Let me try and squash that a bit as well. So this will be a bit of a learning process because I obviously don't know these colours well at all. I have my swatches, but I've not tried actually blending with any of them yet. So this is going to be a learning curve. This might go wrong, but you know, there's only one way to find out, isn't it? To get used to your markers is to give it a go and see what works as you're developing it. And if it's disaster, well, it doesn't matter, does it? So I've got, the other reason I picked this really is thinking about the colour selections that I've got out of these sets that they've sent me. So I didn't want something that was just all greys. There's a couple of skull houses that I thought were quite interesting, but would just be in greys and blacks. And obviously they've sent me all these lovely pastels, so it would be a shame not to make good use out of those. Just let me lie down these sets, because obviously then stood up, not an ideal place for markers to be. Let me just flip them over so I can see them and hopefully grab them without tipping them everywhere. Will that stay? Hopefully, yes. Yeah, bags. Getting used to pens in bags. That's going to take a bit of getting used to. I think I'm going to have a bit of a rejig on my pen system. I think these might have to come out of my pen system so that these lovelies can go in. Right, so where am I going to start? I think let's have a go at the pumpkins first, I think. So let me have a look what I've got in oranges of yellows. So I want YR3, which is there, nice and bright. In fact, there's YR2. What does that look like? Marigold. Yeah, I think that's the only thing I would think about a couple of them is the actual colour ends to the actual colour of the swatch is sometimes not very accurate. So again, checking your swatches is going to be important. I think we'll have Y2 as well, sunflower. And we might want a bit of a orangey brown, but I'm thinking out of the skin tone set might be a good choice. Do I want a pastel as well? Maybe the cream. YR240. Excuse me while I try and find it. YR240 is my creamy colour. And we might have terracotta out of my skin. YR5. YR5 is there. Okay. Oh, can't pick it up. There we go. So, I have all of those. So 1 out of my pastels, 1 out of my skins, and 3 out of my brights, if you needed to know which packs they were from. And I'm just going to move that up a little bit. Might move you down a bit. There we go. Okay. So I think I'm going to start with the dark areas first. Alcohol markers. A lot of people put the light base on first and then build up the dark tones. You can do it that way. Maybe that would be sensible today because I don't know these very well. Maybe as I don't know them, that might be the way to go. So we'll go very pale all over first of all with my YR240 cream. Let's see. Yeah, because it's still quite dark, this cream. It's not super light. Actually, I might want a lighter one for a highlight. Let me find it when it's dry. I shouldn't stop midpoint like this either. This is a bad example of how to use them. Cream. Eggshell. E290. That's there. There we are. Oh, it's not much lighter, is it? We'll go with the one I've got, I think. Let's not complicate matters. Yeah, I do quite like the feel of the brushes. Obviously, Kameliya Angelkova paper. It's not the best quality. It's, you know, Amazon paper. I don't think it's the worst of their papers, Kameliya's generally, but yeah, it's not the best. That is for sure. But yeah, it's not feeling like it's too draggy on the paper. And equally, I don't feel like it's absorbing loads of the ink out of it, so okay, then I think I'm going to go with my darkest bits. Not with the fine bit though. The point at the moment, I'm trying to work a little bit quickly because I don't want to have obviously massive great big tide lines where these colours are finishing, so I want to catch it while the ink is still a little bit wet. I by no means would describe myself as an amazing alcohol pen user. I like them, I've played about with them. The more you get used to using them, I think the more you know what your pens will do and what they won't do, what works with them and what doesn't, on which papers, what you prefer paper wise as well. But yeah, these are all nice and juicy, and it was nice to see that obviously I've ordered myself a set that I've paid for myself. There was no difference, other than I've ordered the wrong type. There was no difference in the quality of the sets I received, whether they came direct from Ohuhu or whether they were a set that I'd just bought myself. You know, I didn't think there was much difference really. On back my cream, yeah, that one. Just to finish this off a bit. Yeah, it's alright, it's not too bad for a first go, is it? I kind of still feel like I want you to move up a little bit on the desk. And like I said before when I was talking about the blenders, like I could at this point where you've got all colours together, put the colourless blender on to blend these things together, but what you'll tend to do is lighten the very dark tones. Just using this cream will lighten some of those darker tones that I've put in, and I don't really want to lose all of that colour, so I'm using the cream instead of the colourless blender that they add. But it depends what you're trying to do really. Sometimes a colourless blender is really useful, other times maybe not so. Obviously this is going to dry now, the colours will change slightly. It's come through quite a bit. Oh, and onto that one, but is it going all the way through? Oh, nearly. Maybe we do need another sheet. Maybe they're a bit juicier than I thought, these pens. It's no bad thing though, is it? It's better than my Copics that are drying out. Now then, so I've got another kind of pumpkin-y thing, so I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to put my light cream on first, all over, just so that the surface is reasonably ready to go for the darker ones, and the dark doesn't absorb in too quickly too soon, especially as I don't know these very well yet. But we'll try and get a bit of shading on this one as well. Then do the same as I did the last time, so I'm going to go in with the darker one, which was Y05 Terracotta. Not going to put loads on because this one's not as shaped as the other one that I've just looked at. And a little bit there as well, I think. And the same on the top and around the back a little bit. I think I might have some on the side of this one. Then in with the orange YR3. Then in with the yellow sunflower. And then finally back in with my cream. Got a bit of bleed through inside, but I'm not worried about that too much. I'm thinking, do I want these as they're on, or do I want them just as they're off so they'll be dark inside? I think we're going to go like that on. Is this the brightest yellow out of these set? Yes, and there's barium yellow, which is Y3. That one. Maybe a bit of light orange out of my pastel set. Is that one? Yep. So I've got, for inside the little faces, I've got light orange YR070, barium yellow 73, and sunflower Y2. Just kind of aiming to make it look like it's kind of a little bit illuminated inside there. So I'm putting a little bit of the lighter orange. And then in with the, what did I just call this? Barium yellow to finish it off. Might put a little bit of white in that later, I'll fish out a gel pen, I think. Maybe a little bit of the darker orange as well that we had out before. Just inside a little bit. Just mixed all the colours up on my desk. Light orange, barium is what I wanted, and sunflower. So we do light orange again. Might just use the light one, I think. for this. And then a little bit back in with the orange again, just a bit of shadow inside. Forgetting about their little noses. There we go. Oh yeah, they're right, aren't they? Just check it's not going through all those bits of paper, because I am putting quite a lot of... Oh yeah, that's fine. That's going fine. Okay, so what I've got left, I'm going to do the stalks, kind of greeny brown, I'm thinking. Let's have a look. Greens, I've got pastels, yellowish green G120 is there. Let's have that out. And then quite like some of these greens. I think they're a really nice green. Absinthe, I think that's a really nice colour. And goes really nicely with this yellow green that's next to it. You can see they're going to blend together really quite nicely. Might pull them too. So they're GY4 and GY5. You can see 2, 3, or 5. Yeah, there's a nice example of colours not matching. So you've got G5, this absinthe, which is a lovely colour, but this is the actual colour on my swatch, which as you can see is nothing like the ends. Like if I was looking at that, well I was looking at that in the bag and I was like, no, that's not the colour I want. But actually, yes, that is the colour I want because it's lovely. So yeah, importance of swatches. I know it's not always easy to get the plastic to be the colour. They're not the only brand that might have issues with that. I'm also thinking I'm going to use a little bit of brown in these stalks. I don't want them looking too fresh looking, but I don't want it as heavy as whatever this one was. Terracotta was a bit strong. Maybe this buttercup. Why 145? Why 145? Where are you there? Let's try it. Might not need all 3 of these, but those are the ones I've pulled and we'll see where we go. So I'm just going to kind of add a little bit of the brown, and then I think I'm going to go in with the lighter of these to begin with. And then the same, I'll go with a lighter one of these, which is that one, GY4. And then finally, my favourite green. Hold on, this is not the right colour. That is G. G5. Was that the one I wanted? I've just been a moan. Not uncertain. I wanted GY5. That's why the colour's not right. Idiot. I'm glad I stopped myself then. That one is a better colour match. Look. Yeah, see, it's me. I'm an idiot. Not Ohuhu. It's just me. That's a better colour match. I don't know what made me double check that then, but thank goodness I did, because that was not the colour I wanted. This, however, was the colour I wanted. Yeah, I like that colour. I like it a lot. I always like greens out of sets. They're my favourite pages that involve some green. Brush. Let's do the other stalk. The same. Just going to put the bits that I want the stalk to look a bit like it's slightly going a bit more wooden looking. and then touch in with the others. There we go. So, okay, so what else have we got? I'm thinking I might, while I've just had these stalky colours out, or colours that I can use for stalks, I might actually do these little stalks that are going into the wooden stump a little bit. Probably not going to need the darker green, and we might need a slightly darker brown because it's going to be a bit more woody, I think, in its appearance. So maybe this yellow ochre, because this one Y45 that I've just been using is buttercup yellow. It's not my idea of buttercup yellow. Don't know about you, but buttercups are generally not this kind of brown colour, but it is a great colour. So I'm going to pick out Y9, I think, if I can find the right one and not be an idiot. Yellow ochre, is that? Yes, so I've got these ones that I'm going to do all the little stalky things with. Just got pens everywhere now, absolutely everywhere. Let's pick one to do first. We'll do this little bit first, because I think this colour probably will be a good colour for the mushroom stalks anyway. It's kind of got that kind of mushroomy feel to it. And then this is the yellow ochre that's a little bit darker. And I think I'm just going to see what this lighter green adds to it. Yeah, I don't mind that so much. Do the same on all of those. Oop, is that the right one? Yeah. Just looked at the nib and thought, oh, that's really dark. But it's not. It's okay, don't panic. It's okay. The greens just keeps rolling off. Decided what I'm going to do with these little frilly bits yet. I'll have to think about what they are going to look like. Might want a bit more darkness under that little mushroom there. Let's see. I had a slightly dark one out before, didn't I? Terracotta. Not too much. Oh no, that's okay. I'm getting quite a bit of bleed, but I think that's this awful Amazon paper, unfortunately, but we'll live with it. Soften that little bit there, I think. Right, where was I up to? Got one more stalk. Was that the lighter one? Yeah. Excuse me, coughing. The joys of germy children at work. lost the green a little bit out of that one. Okay, as I've got browns out, just makes sense to do this big bit. Might get a few more browns out. I'm still keeping my greens out. I don't think I'm going to want the slightly stronger one, but I'm still keeping this softer green out, GY4, because I think that's just adds a little bit of something into the browns. What else do I want with the browns? This persimmon might be nice. What number is that? YR148. That one for a bit of a different tone. And maybe yellow ochre. YR9. YR6. Where are you, YR9? Ah, there. So yeah, building up my brown set. Primrose. Hazelnut's quite nice as well. YR209. YR209. Where are you hiding? YR9209. There. Okay, so I've got quite a selection. So much so that I won't remember what I've got. I'm thinking I'm going to put this that I've literally just picked up, hazelnuts, on as a base on my, because we've got quite a lot of kind of woody things going on. I think I'm going to do the door and these slightly different colours. I might make these green, the doors, and the boarded up bit, just because otherwise we're going to have a lot of brown, aren't we, which yeah, not for me. So I'm going to use a lot of ink on this though. This is the other trouble I have with pens. I know I can't use my good pens on that. That's going to use a lot of ink. Obviously now you can get refills for these, so that is very good. I'm not going to worry about this being too even, because obviously it's a gnarly old tree trunk, so if I'm getting a bit of pen line, actually I think that might be beneficial. I might even deliberately leave a bit of gap to encourage a bit of my lining, because I don't want it to look too kind of smooth, if you see what I mean. So I'll put a little bit on like that. Might regret this decision later, but well, that's the beauty of a book like this, isn't it? You should just be able to have a play about, and if it's a disaster, well, it's a disaster. I'm going to go with the shape, I think, there. Gone in the window ledge? Yeah, well, never mind. Yeah, this is a big space. I'm going to take the top as a separate section, because again I might want to change the colour a little bit there, because obviously cut wood looks different to bark and rough surfaces like this. I've got a bit of root coming off it as well at the bottom. Okay, what is my next one? YR9. Just a little bit darker, isn't it? Where's that one darker? 148. Persimmon I think might keep for the top. 545. Where are you on my list? Oh, you're there. Buttercup yellow. Let's have a look what it looks like next to what. No. Wrong end. Let's see. So just adding a little bit of shadow underneath, or at least starting to add a little bit of shadow underneath the windows. There's normally a window's raised off the surface, isn't it? So causes a little bit of shadow. A bit on this side. So look where I am. A few gaps, haven't I? Yeah, you can get some quite nice little fine marks with these nibs. As long as you're not heavy-handed when you're doing the bigger areas. You don't squash them, but yeah, you can get some quite nice mark making with them. It's just with this where you want a bit of texture and layering. It's quite nice. Do I risk something darker? This is when I wish I had a memory and I could remember what these look like. 1, 4, 8, no. Terracotta is darker, isn't it? That might be too dark. Yellow ochre, that might be quite nice. Let's try it somewhere little. Oh yeah, that's okay. That's alright. I'll just put a little bit of darker bits in here and there. More shadow under this giant paw. Alright, kind of need to carry this little bit on. Now, can I remember the ones I've used? Is the question. Was it this one? Yeah, I think it was. So I've got this little bit of root still to do. I think that's another little bit of root. We've got doorstep. I'll probably do the doorstep a different colour. So I've just got these two little bits of kind of rooty shape to kind of roughly match up to what I've done. Again, not going to worry too much about these woody bits because and then what was the other one? Was it persimmon? Yeah, I think so. Just testing them on a bit of paper next to me just so I can actually see them, rather than spending all day trying to find them again on there. When you're in the middle of doing it, just a bit easier. back in with yellow ochre that I've been using for the darkest. Wrong nib. Obviously you could do a lot of this mark making with these have that bullet point on, so that you could do a lot of this mark if you're not comfortable with making fine marks with a brush, or you, for whatever reason maybe your brushes are older and you don't feel you can get a nice point out of them. Obviously use the other end for the mark making. I suppose I'm using a bit of the nib and then a bit more on the side when I want a slightly bigger mark or a bit more ink down. What do I think? Starting to get there, isn't it? I kind of feel the sides should be a little bit darker, but I don't want to put any more of that particular darkness on. So that one is yellow ochre that I'm using. Dark yellow is quite similar. I got that one. Yellow ochre, rose beige. Buttercup. Maybe we'll just add a bit more of the buttercup and that should darken it up a little bit. So this is a colour we've already got on here, but I'm just adding a second layer just to darken the sides off a little bit. Just so it makes it feel a bit more rounded in shape. The downside is obviously alcohol markers will move the alcohol ink that's already there. So where I have got mark making, it will bleed it a little bit in the process of darkening. So I might still need to go back in with the darker one just for the lines if I want to keep them. I think I'll live with that. It's not too bad, is it? I think that's okay. What was lighter? Was that lighter? Oh, wrong end again. I always do that with all my markers. No, that is the wrong end, Wendy. And we will just get back that yellow ochre, this one, for a little bit more. Just a bit of mark making more back in it. Just because it makes this big log a bit more interesting, doesn't it? It's quite a lot of brown on a page. If we're going to have a lot of brown, let's at least have a bit of interesting brown. Anyway. Okay, so I think we've done all the roots, all the stump, just got the top, which I did want to do in something a little bit different. That was yellow ochre. How dark's that? Quite dark. Persimmon I don't think we used. It's a slight different colour. So maybe I'll get persimmon and yellow ochre out. Have I got that one? Oh, that's the one I was already using, so I don't want the same colour. Persimmon. Potato brown. There's a good name for a colour. I might just use this one and see how it layers. Excuse me tilting for just a little bit of a better angle, because this is a rounded top, kind of the line work to go that way. shadow under these giant paws. Definitely something lighter. Maybe something out the pastel. Sand, that might be good. What number is it? E220. Let's see what that's like on it. I'm going to be here all day trying to put these pens back in the right bags later. Figuring out which one's which. Although, like I say, I might put them in my pen stack. Although I do kind of like being able to lift them down onto the desk, so maybe I might live with them in the bags for a bit. Kind of want something a little bit darker. Terracotta. Tempted to try potato brown. What number are you? BR2. I can see BR1. Burnt umber. Here. How dark are you, potato brown? Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. What do I think? Do I need to add a bit more? Not a huge amount of colour difference, are there? Even though we've used different pens, it just looks slightly different. Maybe that needs a bit more shading in there. Yeah, quite like that. Right, I'm thinking green doors. I'm going to get my favourite colour back out. GI5, GI4. Where was the lighter one? Was I using a yellow? Barium. I think I was using that, wasn't I? Barium yellow. And a little bit of these browns as well. Which was the lighter one? Was it that one? Persimmon. Is that out of this set? Persimmon. Yeah, so we've got a bit of this. And those nice greens for, I'm going to do this plank, this door, I think, and maybe the step. We'll try. I'm going to put some of the brown on first and then layer the greens in just to warm it up and make it feel a little bit different from the browns of the tree trunk. But I'm going to want a fair amount of the brown, I think, as well. Again, the planks, so I'm going to try and keep a kind of plank texture going on. try it with the lighter. I think that's just like a yellow, isn't it, this one, rather than heavy green. Oh, should have done inside that door knocker. Dope. And do inside that one as well. Do the lighter of the greens. Oh, they're rolling away. Not going mad with the green because we don't. It still wants it to feel woody. Just want a bit of green, like it's gone a bit mossy. Just a bit different from the stump. Not loving it in a minute, but we'll keep going. Go back in with the brown a little bit. Stop rolling away. Yeah, got there in the end. Was a bit worried, midpoint. So we've got the wood over the door. I'm going to do the same kind of thing, just so they kind of tie in, I think. Just again, looking for a bit of a palanky wood texture. into the brown just to knock the green back a little bit and add a rolling over and a bit more shadow in some bits. Okay. Greens are just rolling everywhere. So we're kind of up to this point. So I've got a little cheeky skull down here to do. I've got these very naughty monster things. I've got a little potion, some mushrooms to do, and a background. Oh, I've got my step. Do the step before I put these down and then forget which colours I've used. Let's get, again, sorry, just need to be able to get the angle to keep the lines that I want. And back in with the brown. With window frames or not. Well, I've got to do metal work for the door. I think the wood, those should be wood, shouldn't they, really? I think. What colour was this? Yellow ochre, that's the quite dark one, isn't it? Let's try it with these two. That sand was a bit darker than I planned there. Yellow ochre, I'll go with that. definitely all the woody bits. I think it is. Hurrah! Still got to decide what these little frilly things are going to be. Okay, I think we're going to do the little skull. So, where's my little brights? Because I can see there's greys on the top. So, let's have both of those. I've got this one, CG Cool Grey 27. I've got, is that one? Cool Grey 24. And I think I've got this one, Cool Grey 200. And then what greys have I got in the pastel-y ones? Let's have a look at them together. Have I got any more cool greys? Oh, I've got Cool Grey 50. So I've got 1, 5 might be useful. If I can see it. Ah, there. Cool Grey 5, is that the only cool grey in the pastel? Got neutral grey, cool grey, which is this one, warm grey, yellow grey, red grey, yeah, so these are the only cool greys I've got. So I've got that one. Well, 4 and 5 should blend together, shouldn't they? And then I can use 7. So we've got, ooh, don't escape. We've got 7, 5, 4, and then 0, which is going to be a bit of a jump, I think, from 4 to 0. But we'll do what we can with it. I don't have any in the skins, do we? So I'm ditching the 7 for now. We'll go with 4 and 5 for my little skull. Let's make a decision where I want it darker. Right on the edge. Let's go there. It's not. So this one's 5, isn't it? Yeah, it's not too dark 5, so hopefully that should work okay. Go in with 4. Can I not count? Because that looks darker. Why is 4 darker than 5? Uh-oh. 4 is in fact darker than 5. I'm an idiot. So I'm going to have to swap that round. Quite dark, this one as well. Crossing my fingers that 4's going to blend with it. Just a bit of a jump. How light is this one? Pretty light. Yeah, it's still alright. Considering I put the wrong one on first. Fortunately I put the lighter one on first. Could have been worse if I'd put the darker one on and that wasn't where I wanted the darker one. So that could have gone much worse. Just, yeah, that just confused me a little bit. Well, there you go. Right, we need dark inside 4. So 5 is the lighter one, so 4 is the darker one. So I'm going to pop some of the 7 on first. into the 4. I think I'll just go inside these sculpt as dark rather than being illuminated. Do with a black, which I can see is there. Not perhaps my best blending technique there, but you know, you live and learn. Oh. She's mauling now, and I should just leave this pulse colour alone. It'll do. Leave it as it is. Right, I'm going to put my greys back because I don't think I'm going to need my greys for anything else. So, which one's out of which one? 4 is out of that one. 7 is out of that one. 5 is out of the pastels. What was this one? Cool grey 2 was out of the brights. Right. What colour am I going to do my monsters? I kind of think I want them green and blue. Mushrooms red, obviously, because I love a bit of red. Should we do the mushrooms? Let's play the mushrooms. R2 for a red. R2. There. So they're saying that is vermilion. R4, which feels slightly pinky to me. They're calling it deep red, but when I'm seeing it here in real life, it feels like it's got a little bit of blue in it. Cherry pink. Then I think we're definitely going to want to blend these out into something. So I might want my orange that I had out earlier. And what else out of the pastels? To blend these out. Eggshell white. Light orange, mellow peach. Cream. I think I might go eggshell white. E090. Can I see you? E090. E3. E0. I can't find it. Goodness. I already got it out. That'll be why I can't find it, because I've already got it out like an idiot. Okay, bit nervous about these red blends, but I think we'll go with this lot without the darker of the reds, because I can always add a bit of the darker reds once these lot are working. So gonna go in with the palest one first, eggshell white. Probably not going to leave a huge amount of this, particularly at the bottom left. There just might be a bit left at the top. But because I'm not totally sure how well these are going to blend, I'm going to put base of ink down to help the movement a little bit. This may bleed out into the background, but well, we'll see. Again, I'm not going to worry too much about the white spots. If you know they bleed into there, doesn't, I'll probably come back in with a white gel pen or something like that. So no matter. Yeah, well, loving the blend between them, only there. A little bit of the darkest red in these. Vermilion's quite dark on its own though, to be honest. Kind of can't see the darker one over the top, can we? Got something else that's an in-between. Coral Pink R1. Let's see if that helps the blend a bit there. Yeah, that's helped a little bit, I think. Gosh, that mushroom's a bit tricky. And definitely I need something a bit dark to put a bit of shadow on. Geranium. Geranium R8. It looks like it's bright red on the pen. I'm hoping it's not, otherwise it won't show up. There we go. There we are, that's what I want. It's something that'll show. Okay. Okay, so all the mushrooms I'm probably going to do exactly the same. So rather than you watching another 3 times what I just did there, I'll do these ones and then we'll come back. And then I've just got the monsters to do, whatever I'm going to do with these little bits, background and the soil at the very bottom here. So I'll see you in a minute when I've just done the other 4. Okay, so yeah, all 4 are in. As you can see, I've got a little bit of bleed in the whites on all of them, but I'm not too worried about that really at the moment. I've got to decide about these little frill things. I'm thinking, because I've still got hold of all the colours I've just been using for the mushrooms, I'm thinking I'm going to pop in with that. Maybe a bit of the in-between colour that I was using to help the blend. It was definitely easier to blend that vermilion into the orange using a bit of this one, R1 Coral Pink, which doesn't make a huge amount of sense, but it definitely did seem to help a little bit. So I'm thinking I might just pop a bit of that and a little bit of the red in those things like that. I think that's what we'll do. So that's the geranium, the eggshell white and coral that I'm just using in these little, I don't even know what they are, whatever these things are on the mushroom. I've no idea whether it's supposed to be this colour, but this is what colour they are now, because this is the colour I want them. Somehow managed to flick ink over there. I can only think it was when I think it's this one. This one is so juicy. Look, there's ink coming everywhere out of it, so I think it's been very well filled. I'm not going to complain about that, other than I have got it now all over me, but that's not unusual for me. Let's do the other two. Oops. Definitely not going to moan about a pen that's got too much ink in though, because it just means it'll last longer, doesn't it? So, hooray. Yeah, I've got it got it all over all of them though. Don't know how I've managed to do that. It's all over this one that isn't even that colour. It's a special skill getting ink everywhere like I do. There we are. And then finally the geranium. Ooh, hello. And the last one. Right, I'm just going to pause and get the ink off myself. Okay, at least I'm not putting it on everything, because no me, I'll just, you know, smudge it all over the book. Right, what have we got left? We've got curtains, we've got inside the house. So I just want a nice yellow, I think we'll use that, is it barium? Cream sunflower I might want. Should I put the barium away? Marigold. Cream. What have I done with it? I definitely had that out. Oh, it's over here. Stupid me. Found it. So, we'll just have this one, I think, in the little house. The darker one. This is the sunflower, I think. Whilst we're here, I think I might do a bit on the locks, and the handles, as I've got yellows out. A little bit of brown. Which one's that on? Terracotta, that might do. On the fine liner, but for this, actually that's helpful. We'll do the same. Ooh, red. No, don't want you. Not red. Do the same for the knocker and the metalwork. Put a bit of a highlight back in with a white pen later, I think, on here. It's the sunflower. And then back with the terracotta, just for a little bit of shadow. Oop. I don't want too much of this though. What to do the little holes? I'm guessing they're supposed to be. Just do it the same, I think. And then I'm going to go fine line edge. Yeah, I quite like these Honolulu bees with the fine nib on, because just occasionally they can be quite useful, can't they? I don't tend to use the chisel tips so much, although you can use them on the side and get quite a fine line. I'm just a bit clumsy with them somehow. Probably just need a bit more practice. Okay. So I think I've got left background, curtain, jar. Jar's definitely being green because I want to use this green a bit more. So we're having some green liquid in my jar, I think. There's that barium colour. Yeah. That's not the light one, is it? And then this is the lightest of those greys that we had out earlier. Let's put a bit of the cool grey live in as well. Just on the sides at the bottom, I think. Right, we need a cork in a little bottle. Curtain, I think I'm going orange or red. Maybe a bit of orange and red. Where is my orange? Over there. So I've got the two colours that I used in the mushrooms. Orange, coral pink. So I'm going to just add some shadows with the coral first. Might have been wise to have done one curtain at a time, but no, for some reason I've just done both at once. And then back in with sunflower, I think. Okay, so I've got my monsters to do, and background, foreground. I think I'm going to do the foreground in those greens I've got out, because I like the greens, and we've not used them a huge amount. So, what have I got? I've got absinthe and I've got yellow-green, but I might want something a bit darker for some shadow. There's a bit shadowy around the skull here, and obviously underneath the pumpkins. I'm going to want it a little bit darker. So whether to go, I might go with that one I picked up by accident. Is it G5, which is that one. So I might go with these ones for my space down here at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to put my swatches. I'm going to put the darker one of my two normal greens in first. Right. Oop. Totally sure it needs this darker one. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, maybe it does. Maybe it does. Yeah. Yeah, pleased with them greens. Yeah, I like those. I think they might be my favourite colours out of these sets so far. Or at least that I've been playing with today. It's the downside of doing a Halloween page. I've got a million pinks in front of me and I haven't been able to use them. Perhaps I picked the wrong page to use these on. Okay, background. Oh, maybe I could do a pink background. It's pink sky. Purple to pink sky. Might do that. Let's have a look what we've got. Don't want anything shocking pink, I don't think. Let's have a look. Have we got what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that might be nice. Lavender. Lavender maybe into mauve shadow for a background. And then is there a pinky tone that'll go from there? Maybe this thistle. Might be a bit similar. Quite like thistle though. Just that one's a bit of a jump, I think. There's no pink on the other two. Hollyhock. I might try hollyhock. Let's get thistle and hollyhock out. Right, let's find lavender. P4. Mauve shadow is R11. Then hollyhock, red violet 180. Is that out the pastels? It is, isn't it? Helps if I look in the right pack. That would help, wouldn't it? Red violet 160. Red violet 180. Hollyhock. We might get that 60 out as well. I've just seen it. Where's it gone through? Ah, something else is attacking me. Ash Rose, we don't want you. Okay, so I've got quite a bizarre purple pink arrangement for my sky. This might ruin the whole page, but well, we'll have a bit of fun with it, won't we? And I think my little monsters are going to be blue. Because why not? This is a nice colour as well. What was this one called? Lavender. I don't think it's lavender. It's very dark for a lavender, but it's still a very nice colour. It's more kind of plummy purple, maybe? I don't think I'd describe it as that, but it doesn't matter. It's still nice. Alright, let's see how all these go together. It's a little bit of a jump, I think, that. I think what I'll do here is add some of this first. And then put a little bit of the darker on. See if that helps the transition of it. Because yeah, I think they need something in between them really, but I mean there might be something that's in between. I just don't know these sets well enough to have figured out good blending options yet. As I get to use them a bit more, I'm sure I'll figure out which ones are good blending options together. But yeah, quite like that background against the orange. That's quite nice, isn't it? I think I'm going to do the other side and then make a decision about what we do going up, because I do quite like the purple tone. Dare I do the pink? Oh, I've missed a bit of green there, look. What an idiot. Come back to that. How far up do I go? So I want to go up a bit further with that. Let's do this a little bit. Alright, yeah, coming up to the bit we need to blend. So I think what I'll do the same again. We'll put a lot of this on first. Then I'll go up a little bit more. There we go. It's okay, isn't it? It's not too bad. The same on this bit. Take that lower than we need it. Okay. I'll definitely want some more of this one above. See if I can soften my red splat of ink there out the way a bit. Do I go into one of these pinks? Forgot which one was which now. I think we'll go thistle. Let's try thistle. Might not get to the stronger one, I think. That's okay. It's not the best blend ever, is it? Keep layering them, see what we get. That's perhaps the best I'm going to get with it. But, like I say, this is the first time I've even used these, so it's going to take me a bit of time to figure out what colours are best with each other and what's working. That page is, oh yeah, we're just seeing through it, it's not lifting it up. Let's have a bit more of this lighter purple, I think. Shouldn't have stopped there, that was a bit stupid of me. Using up all my nice pink colour already. Why did I do a pink background again? Because I'm an idiot. Use up some really nice colours. First time you use the pack. That makes sense, Wendy. I'm a cheat here, this bit's just being pink. It's not having any purple behind his head. In fact, I can get away with all this bit just in pink. I'm gonna cheat, make this tiny little bit there, the blend. Yay! That makes life a bit easier. And then I've just got this little bit. And then we've just got the monsters to do in the pens. I think I might use a paint pen in these little holes in my mushrooms, because obviously I've got quite a lot of bleed and that red is pretty strong and it's not for softening. So yeah, I quite like that as background. I think the other pink might have been a bit too strong. But yeah, that's a nice combination as well. Those three, I like those three together. Not the easiest in some of these areas, even though visually they don't look too far apart. But yeah, quite like that. Okay, I've got a little bit of square of green, while I remember. So do that. And then I think I'm going to do my monsters blue. Or shall I? What do these need to be? Because we've got quite a bit of green. I am tempted to do them green, but have a look what greens I've got. No, he's going blue. Now I started looking at the colours, I'm like, yeah, I quite like these as blue. So, got quite a few blues, but I have got very little room left because I've got a desk full of pens that's driving. I'm going to move them over because I need some blue space. Right, so got royal blue, sky blue, brilliant blue. Then I've got frost, robin's eggs blue, pale greyish blue, light blue. How blue do I want them? I'm thinking I quite like this royal blue for the dark, which is PB6, that one. Then I need a step up from that because that's pretty dark. What's in the other ones? Lavender mist. Maybe this is too dark for what I... blue. Let's get the other ones out anyway. PB2. Oh, I've got cerulean. Maybe that would go. Royal into cerulean. Maybe into pastel. PB7. Might actually use my brain and actually maybe see how this blend goes before we go straight onto a monster and then realise actually they're not going to blend. Not that I want it like super blended because it's fur. Boop. Oh, it's not too bad, that, is it? That wasn't bad for a first guess. Okay, we'll go with those. But he's quite furry anyway, so I think I'm going to go for more kind of texture marks. So I'm going to do him all in the lighter one, this one, pastel, first. Although it's still quite dark, this colour, really. It's not too light. Okay, then with the cerulean, I'll start a bit of shadow on. Bit of shadow around his one beady eye. And then maybe a bit of fur marks. Where else on his arm? I have to tilt you. Need to get different angle. And then What do we think? Yeah. It's okay. So I need colours for his horns and colours for his paw. So I'll do the other one the same, and then I'll come back to you and we'll make a decision about his other little bits and pieces. See you in a minute. Okay, I've done monster number 2. I think I've made a bit of a mess of his fur a little bit, but well, never mind. So I've just got his little horns to do and his claws. So yeah, I want a skin tony colour, I think, but nothing dark. Something, maybe I'll try those milk white and maybe a bit of fruit pink. So what's that? R212. Which is that? A fruit pink, maybe. We shall see. So yeah, those two. Do I want something a bit darker to add a bit of shadow with that as well? Decisions. That might work. Hazelnut. Did I have that out? 209. 209, is that it? Hazelnut, yeah. Okay, so yeah, we'll do that. Not with that then though. One pen, with the lighter on, don't I? Put the base on. A little bit of the pink over it. And do the same for my little one at the bottom. Oh, every time. Would help if I looked, wouldn't it? Same, just a little bit of pink on top. Horns. Thinking maybe the grey. Yeah. I think I'll do some of the grey. Horns. Where was that super light one? Was it that one? Yeah. Just to soften the edge. Keep a little bit of the highlight in the horns, I think. There we go. And then just a little bit of grey in their eyes, I think. I think I want his little claws black. I need to do a little bit of something with his teeth, I think. Maybe that little skin colour, is that the light one? Yep. I don't feel monsters have like blingy white teeth, do they? So we'll just knock them back a bit. So, let's take you out a little bit. You see how much mess of pens there is around my desk now. Yeah. I'm thinking that's as much as I want to do with the lovely markers. I want a bit. Oh, I've got to do these little bits in here, haven't we? Question is what? I wonder if we put a little bit of the. In fact, let's see if the colours blender. I suspect not because I've let it really dry in, but I'm just wondering if that'll lift a bit of that out. Trouble with this is it's liable to make things bleed a little bit. Moving it but not lifting it, I think, is what we are. So, I'm thinking to finish that off. I definitely don't want that bleed in there, so I think I'm going to get a grey acrylic marker. I'm just going to pause you while I get one. Okay, so let that one dry off that I've just been working on. What I have noticed is while I've been working on the monsters is the sky has actually dried quite nice actually for the blend, so I'm pretty pleased with that. So just got a grey acrylic paint brush marker. I'm just gonna basically just put a little bit of shadow in these little white spots just to cover up the overbleed that we've got while I was trying to blend those mushroom sections. Wow. I'm going to come back to that one because I've literally just wet it again, so I suspect acrylic paint pen probably won't like wet alcohol pen. Come back to that last one. Oh, what is that? That's all right now. Yeah, that's done it. And then I just want a bit of white, so I fished out my Ohuhu gel pens that I've had. I've had these a while. I think I've had these 2 years now. These were a gift from someone. And yeah, I quite like them. So we'll have a go with the white, I think, out of them. This set has, again, I've had this a while. It has silvers, golds, and then I think these are all neons. And then I've got quite a few whites. So just gonna add a few little highlights here and there. Just Creating this little eyeball. Excuse my dog having a drink in the background, if you can hear that. She waits for me to be videoing to eat a crunchy chew or go and have a drink. Where else? Oh, on the door knocker. Where else do I want a little bit? Do I want any in the background there? Maybe a little bit. This is where I lean in a bit of the wet bit of the wet gel pen, because I've got used to leaning on it now because it's mainly alcohol marker, which is a bit forgiving, isn't it, if you're leaning on it, because it dries so quick in comparison. Is there anywhere else I want a little bit of highlight? I think that might be it. Let's put that back. Ooh. So, it has gone through a lot. Look at all my wasted ink. Yeah. Oh, it has gone through. No! That'll be me, that moving the paper like an idiot. Yeah, don't need that behind now. I think I'm calling that done for my second page in Fairy Halloween Houses by Kameliya Angelkova. My little blue monsters in the haunted tree stump. But yeah, I've really enjoyed working with my new markers, so many thanks to Ohuhu. It's been fun trying these out. It's not a perfect piece, it's been a learning curve. Obviously I need to get used to the colours a little bit more and working out what blends work with Ohuhu. I'm sure there are lots of people that have done loads of work on these things, haven't they, and I've got a bit of catching up to do. But yeah, I still say I'm pretty impressed with them, and the fact that now you can refill them, they make total sense as a refill, don't they? I don't tend to buy markers anymore that you can't refill, because in this day and age we shouldn't be throwing away things like this that are perfectly reusable. So new nibs in them, new ink in them, perfect. It's exactly what we want. And yeah, I'm really pleased with how they've worked on this. Obviously this is not ideal marker paper, it's literally just Amazon Kameliya Angelkova paper, so it's not the best surfaces to work on. It's certainly not marker paper, but I'm really impressed with how it's blended. I've had a few bleeds here and there, but that is to be expected on this paper. But even the early ones in the pumpkin, I'm really pleased at how they've dried. And the backgrounds, which are often quite tricky if I'm going to do a blend, yeah, I think that's dried quite nicely. I think they're nice inks that are in them. I'm pleasantly surprised. And I've enjoyed working on this page. So hopefully this video has been useful, interesting, bit of fun to see me figuring out how to use them and what they can do, and yeah, really pleased with them. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much to Ohuhu, and yeah, hopefully you'll see them again on the channel reasonably soon. But yeah, my page in Kameliya Angelkova. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.